In mathematics, a sequence is an enumerated collection of objects in which repetitions are allowed and order matters. Sequences are significant in many facets of our lives, particularly for students. Indeed, they help us predict, evaluate, and monitor the outcome of a situation or event and help us a lot in decision making. Good day, Section GE4. I am Teacher Queen. Today, we are going to learn about sequences and its relevance to students' daily lives with the theme, the applications of arithmetic, geometric, and Fibonacci sequences in students' practical life. At the end of this video presentation, you will be able to, first, provide an in-depth knowledge about arithmetic, geometric, and Fibonacci sequences. Second, prove beyond doubt that sequences can be related to real-life scenarios. And lastly, acknowledge the significance of learning sequences to have a better understanding of the world that we are living in. Alright, good morning class! How are you feeling today?
We're doing good and great, Mom!
Glad to hear that! For today's lesson, we will talking about the types of sequences. But first, let's watch this short yet informative music video from Miss Lopez.
A sequence is an ordered list of objects, arithmetic, geometric, and Fibonacci. Oh, tell me, do you know all these words? Oh, I don't know. I don't know too. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 and then multiplied by d. This is the arithmetic sequence. This is the formula. This is the formula, baby. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n. Then you subtract it to number 1. This is what the formula for geometric sequence. Now you learn and you sing it too. F sub n is equal to f sub n minus n plus f n minus 2. Did you know that this is the formula for the sequence called Fibonacci sequence? Ooh, arithmetic, geometric, Fibonacci. Sequence. Ooh, it is always fun to learn the sequence.
Alright, as you can see in the video, it contains information about the types of sequences. First, the arithmetic sequence. When we talk about arithmetic sequence, it is a sequence in which the difference between any two consecutive terms is constant. This constant is called the common difference, which is denoted by the small letter d. Now, let us proceed to the second type of sequence, which is the geometric sequence. It is a sequence in which the quotient between any two consecutive terms is constant. This constant is called common ratio. Finally, the Fibonacci sequence. It is a sequence in which the first and second terms are both equal to 1 and in which starting from a sub 3, each succeeding term is the sum of the two immediate terms preceding it. That is, if I have an 1, 1, then the third term will be 1 plus 1 or 2. The fourth term will be the sum of the second and the third term. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. The fifth term will be the sum of the third and fourth term. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. And this pattern continues indefinitely.
A few minutes later.
Alright, I'm done with my discussion. Now, does anybody here can provide a real-life situation where sequences are used or applied?
Excuse me, Mom, allow me to speak?
Yes, Mr. Hinakay.
Yes, Mom, I can relate arithmetic sequence to my real life. I am a working student and I used to rent a boarding house. I believe that arithmetic sequence can help me to calculate the total amount I have already spent paying my boarding house, as well as the total amount I will spend over the next few months. So, the boarding house cost me 3,000 pesos a month to rent. And given that, I made the first month payment of 3,000 pesos. And the second month, I spent 6,000 pesos, including the first month. And the third month, I spent 9,000 pesos, including the first and second month. Now, the question is, how much will be the total amount of money I will spend in the next 10 months? So here is our given. 3,000 pesos, 6,000 pesos, and 9,000 pesos. Now, let us solve for the common difference. So our formula is D is equals to A sub 2 minus A sub 1. Then, substitute that to the given. So D is equals to 6,000 pesos minus 3,000 pesos. Therefore, the common difference of the sequence 3,000 pesos, 6,000 pesos, 9,000 pesos is 3,000 pesos. Now, the question is, what is the 10th term of the arithmetic sequence? So here is our formula. A sub n is equals to A sub 1 plus n minus 1 times D. Here is our given. So our A sub 1 is equals to 3,000. Then our common difference is equals to 3,000 and our n term is 10. Then substitute that to the given. So A sub 10 is equals to 3,000 plus 10 minus 1 times 3,000. Then perform the indicated operation. So 10 minus 1 is equals to 9. 9 times 3,000 is equals to 27,000. And 27,000 plus 3,000 is equals to 30,000. Therefore, the 10th term of the sequence 3,000 pesos, 6,000 pesos, 9,000 pesos is 30,000 pesos. That is why arithmetic sequence is important for me as a working student.
You've got it right, Mr. Hinakay. That's a clever example.
Me too, ma'am. I can provide a scenario. So assume that you have the coronavirus and forgot to cover your mouth when your two friends came to visit you in bed while you were sick. And then the next day, they are infected with the COVID. Assume that each friend spreads the virus to two of their friends the following day. Now, how will you determine the number of newly infected people on the 8th day? Solution. Assuming that this pattern continues and that each sick person infects two other friends, we can represent these events as follows. Day and the number of newly infected people. In day 1, there are 2 infected individuals. In day 2, there are 4. In day 3, there are 8. And in day 4, there are 16 individuals that are infected. These instances can be expressed as geometric sequence, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. As a result, the general formula for geometric sequence is as follows. A sub n is equals to A sub r, open parenthesis, n minus 1, close parenthesis, where A is the first term in the sequence, r is the common ratio, an is the number of newly infected people on an nth day. Now, we will determine the number of newly infected people on the 8th day. B discovered. A is equals to 2, r is equals to 4 divided by 2 equals 2, which can be calculated using the general formula. So D sub 8 is equals to 2, open parenthesis, 2, close parenthesis, 8 minus 1 squared. 8 minus 1 squared is equals to 7. So D sub 8 equals to 2, open parenthesis, 2, close parenthesis, 7 squared. So 2, 7 squared is equals to 128. So D sub 8 is equals to 2 times 128 equals 256. Therefore, there are 256 newly infected people with coronavirus.
Wonderful, Miss Gulyaban. I appreciate how you adapted the idea. Yes, Miss Iman.
One morning when I was preparing the medicines for my grandmother, I noticed that the arrangement of the tablets are arranged by 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, which follows the rules of the Fibonacci sequence wherein the sum of two preceding numbers are present. For example, 0 plus 1 equals 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2, then 1 plus 2 equals 3, and 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 3 plus 5 equals 8, and so on. I realized that we live by the presence of math around us. We encountered sequences every day without us noticing it.
Good thinking, Miss Iman. Nice try.
A few minutes later.
Therefore, ma'am, today I've learned that sequences are the basis for series which are important in differential equations and analysis. Math sequences like arithmetic, geometric, and Fibonacci sequences are extremely important to learn since we can utilize them in everyday situations. They greatly aid in decision-making by assisting us in the prediction, assessment, and monitoring of the outcome of a situation or occurrence.